Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And the NFL Week 14 gets started on this Thursday night, Sean. So it should be a fun night. 3 sports, but really not a lot of games, though.
No, college basketball and NBA being busy earlier in the week, kind of very late on Thursday. But you know why that is, too. They don't want to
They don't want to mess with the NFL.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't want to mess with those ratings. You got some interesting college basketball games, though, tonight. Iowa versus Iowa State, a nice rivalry there. That should be fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of my friends went to Iowa State. I don't know. A lot of kids around here go to Iowa too. So it's a big rivalry. You see a lot of bars in Chicago with the I flag, from the Iowa or the Hawkeye thing. So there's a lot of Iowan alumni, I guess, here in the Windy City area. Last night, man, and just another one of those nights, Sean, where I just can't, I can't hang. I'm like the guy in the movie, right? That's hanging on like to, he's dangling off the cliff or some stuff, or he's. The hero has the villain by the arm, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the villain's about to slip and fall, and everybody's hoping that the hero can be like this magnanimous person and just put aside all of his animus towards the villain, and he's pulling in the last second, his hands slip and they go and you see him fall. Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's you lately.
That's me in sports betting lately. What the hell is going on?
I'm not much better right now.
I'm talking about literally last second losing. I mean, that's I'm gonna make a t-shirt for Moneyline Madmen. It says last second loser.
Yeah. Cash out now.
Yeah, maybe that would be a better option. Yeah, indeed. Because yesterday UConn, right? They didn't score not 1 point. I lost by the hook. They lost by the hook. They didn't score 1 point in over 3 minutes at the end of the game. Not one. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Is there not like one guy that has, the dance LeBron did? I don't know if you saw that dance. Is there not one guy on the court that has the dance in him that can go to the bucket and get a foul and make a free throw?
Apparently not.
No, you know what it is? Everybody hits that 3. They want that 3 nowadays, right? That's a 3-3-3. Jack up threes and turn the ball over like LeBron, like James Harden. And then in the soccer game, Mexico scored early in the first half, gave up a goal to go to tie. They scored early in the second half. Out of a 90-minute game, Mexico probably led for 60, 65 minutes. 4 minutes to go left in the game. I see a little thing on my screen go boop, boop, boop. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. 3 minutes left in the game, Chile scores. I'm like, come on, it's a friendly. What are you doing? So, I'm that guy falling back, watching the person up there just get smaller and smaller and smaller as my back barrels towards the bottom of the cliff.
Yeah, and I looked up the soccer score this morning and I went, there's that tie, and I said that if I play soccer, I bet the tie, but I haven't been hot enough to play soccer, so And then now I own against the spread. I own Cordell and Alcorn State's only loss. So if anybody else wants an against the spread loss, I can help them out with that.
Mm-hmm. I understand that for sure. So today, Sean, we'll get cracking with the NFL to get started on the day today. Well, before we do that, let's talk about some line movements, Sean, that have some note of interest. Really nothing in the NFL. There's betting interests that are kind of interest in the NFL game, but the only line movement tonight that I see of interest really is in the NBA with the Nuggets and the Spurs. The Nuggets actually opened up as a 1-point favorite, and now that line's moved to up to as much as a 3-point underdog. So I don't know if there's some injuries there or something along that line, Sean, that maybe you'll have some note on. And go ahead.
No, I'm not really seeing anything. I know I didn't see anything about Jokic being out or anything. I think that might have been a question, but I haven't seen anything like that.
What about as far as the game tonight between the Steelers and the Vikings? I know that a couple players, Thielen is obviously out from what I read, but Dalvin Cook is probably the most important question mark.
Yeah, I keep saying he's questionable. It looks like he was done to play. I haven't seen anything. Again, it's so hard to find, and it's last minute. But last I was reading was questionable, but it looked like he was trending in the right direction.
Well, they usually declare those about an hour and a half before the game starts, if I remember correctly. The ins and the outs.
If I had to guess, it sounds like he's going to be able to go.
Yeah, that's kind of what I read too. Also, it looks like Claypool is another one that's going to be kind of a iffy at the last minute decision for Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah,
a lot of interesting stuff going on for the weekend out in with the Chargers. Their entire with their two main wide receivers can be out because they were in contact with each other. A vaccinated Keenan Allen has COVID. He's hanging out with the unvaccinated Mike Williams, who apparently doesn't have COVID yet.
Yeah, try to figure that out.
You're right, but because Keenan tested positive, and Mike was hanging out with him, whether he tests positive or not. But if he gets a positive test, if he gets two negatives within 24 hours before the game, I guess both of them can play and if Mike Williams never tests positive, he doesn't. That doesn't much matter.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing anymore, betting on any. We talk about basketball, kind of waiting till like at least an hour before. Football's the same way. You got to wait till Sunday now with COVID and stuff. You just don't know who's playing and who's not.
Right. Sometimes you don't know, even when like NBA, they put the lineup out. Oh, Giannis isn't in the lineup. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, like we say,
it's already locked.
Like we say, everybody's probable. You just never know.
Sometimes we're probable too. All right, that's the NFL tonight, Sean. You have Steelers are getting 3.5 points in Minnesota. What do you think?
So I'm going to go with Minnesota and give up the points. And, the Steelers played their game last week. They played a big rivalry game against the Ravens. Now they come back on short week. It was one of those old-fashioned kind of games, more defensive, Pittsburgh-Baltimore type game. Minnesota, meanwhile, has their worst game of the year and loses to Detroit. Mm-hmm. And when you lose like that, you're anxious to get back on the field and get rid of that. So I think this works in Minnesota's favor and against the Steelers. Cousins has been playing well. I know they're without Thielen, but didn't seem to bother them too much offensively last week. They still have weapons with Jefferson and stuff, so be all right there. And if they get Cook, they have the two-headed monster in the backfield with Cook and Madison. So I'm going to take the Vikings and give up the 3.5.
You're going to take the Vikings and give up the 3.5?
Yep.
I'm going to, let's see what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take that side of the bet, Sean. If you look at and you seem to be like in the right place with that number, Sean, because let me tell you why. Miami, the 50% of the tickets are on it's 50-50 in terms of the tickets against the number, Sean. But 78 cents is on Minnesota. And on the other side of that line, 62% of the tickets are on the over. But 69 cents, Sean, is on the under. So it looks like that's the way to go. And the funny thing for me here, Sean, is I have the game going over. I know the total in this game is
44.5 about?
44.5. I have them scoring 51, Sean. So I actually have them like scoring 51.49. So almost 7 points over. 7 point is my threshold for me, Sean. So I'm taking the over in this. I actually think there are going to be a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually was surprised with the total being that low. I mean, Minnesota all year is kind of, they move the ball offensively. They haven't done all that great defensively. I mean, look what they just gave up to Detroit. And then Pittsburgh, their defense ain't like it used to be neither. So I'd expect points. You don't have to worry about the weather or nothing like that. I'd expect a lot of points in this game.
I do expect a lot of points in this game, Sean. I'm hoping there's a lot of wide receiver yards. Looking at, from a fantasy standpoint, looking at the projected yards and stuff like that, what are the over-under totals for the quarterbacks? I have Cousins throwing for about 286 yards, and I have Big Ben throwing for about 274. Of course, that's projected. It could be more, it could be less.
So this actually surprises me. They're both close, but Roethlisberger is actually projected for 3 more yards than Cousins. Over 258.5 for Roethlisberger, 255.5 for Cousins.
And that's probably because with Dalvin Cook coming back, they probably expect a little bit more running. But the Pittsburgh Steelers run defense at times has been good, but at times it's been really, really bad, Sean. So it's tough to tell what the story is going to be there. So you're taking Minnesota. I'm taking the over in the game. You're on the side of the smart money. I'm on the side of the asses, right? I'm betting the over. when all the money is on the under and all the tickets are on the over.
The good news is we both can win. The bad news is we both could lose.
Yes, I guess. Maybe I should take Pittsburgh in a 3.5. That way we're guaranteed a winner.
You know what, though? I mean, how many times do you see it? And Pittsburgh's been like it all year. When you count Pittsburgh out, they win the game they're not supposed to, or you think they're bad. Then when you think they're really good and figured it out, they go and have a bad game. So it's just one of those. You see this all the time. Pittsburgh had their win of the year. Vikings had their loss of the year. Now you got a short week. It usually reverses. So
you think that's how that goes?
It seems to go that way quite a bit.
Yeah, well, I just hope whatever they do, they score a lot of points because I have to win to get into the fantasy playoffs next week, Sean. And I have Deontay Johnson on Pittsburgh, and I have Justin Jefferson for Minnesota. Perfect. Well, it's perfect, but without Thielen, you got to think there's going to be a lot of coverage rolled over Justin Jefferson's way, right?
Yeah, you would think, but especially if they're getting Cook back too. I mean, if they get the running game going, play action, you'll open that stuff up. Plus, Jefferson's a guy you can double, and he's still going to make a play. So you
hope that Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that sometimes likes to throw the. I need a lot of points tonight, folks. Please, whatever you do, just pray for me to score a lot of points between those two guys. All right, Sean. Only a trio of games tonight in the NBA. Sean, what do you think about NBA tonight?
These were all kind of 50-50-ish games, and I'm kind of little gun shy at this point with these kind of games, so I'm passing on the lineup tonight. If I had to
ditch it altogether,
yeah. And can you imagine that? There's 3 games available, and I'm not.
No, I can't. Anything. Well, that's because you're going to be watching the football game tonight. If there was no football game tonight, Sean would be betting all 3. Believe me.
Yeah, probably. Jazz and Sixers are tough because they both played yesterday, so they're both on a back-to-back, and Utah absolutely destroyed Minnesota. I don't know. I'd lean Denver, but then I'm worried about that line movement, and San Antonio's been playing well, and Denver's another team. You just don't know what you're going to get from night to night.
San Antonio's been playing well.
They have been.
Under what circumstances are they playing well? I mean, their record's like 5-49 or something.
No, they're like 8-16, 8-17, something like that. But
that's real good.
Before they lost the last game or two, they won like 3 in a row. So
Well, I'm looking at these games tonight, Sean. I have Philadelphia winning and covering. I have the game going slightly over. Stupid soccer tie. So it's Mexico-Chile as far as the total is concerned. The Lakers-Memphis game here, so the model says take the Lakers, and it says take the Memphis Grizzlies. But last night they looked a little bit tired, right? Tired legs. They've played back-to-back, I think, 3 or 4 times this year. They've lost, I think, 4 times back-to-back Memphis. They've lost 3 or 4 of them, and they haven't been close. The Lakers, on the other hand, this is only going to be their second game in like 6 days, so the old men on that squad should be pretty healthy and ready to go, except LeBron and Anthony Davis, and all of them are still questionable to probable, so who knows. And then Denver and San Antonio. I'm actually going to take San Antonio. I can get San Antonio for -2 for -105, Sean. So I'm going to go San Antonio, make it official, -2 for my normal amount.
Okay. Yeah. All these games are 50. I was thinking what you're thinking with the Lakers game, but the way the Lakers played, I just can't trust them. And to say they're going to turn the table, I don't know if they're going to turn the table.
I just think that the depth issues for Memphis caught up with them last night.
Definitely. Yeah. Watching that game, and we both needed Memphis, and just seeing the players they have, and they've been scoring a lot of points though, but yesterday they did not look good.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the depth issue and their legs were tired, so they're going to be tired tonight again. I feel like I said, the model says take Memphis. The qualitative, me going back and just doing the research, says take the Lakers. So I'm going to take the Lakers, and I'm going to take Memphis, Sean. I'm going to be right on one. Let me see. Is there a way I can do that? Lakers are 4. Oh, they're 4 across the board, Sean. I was hoping maybe I'd see like a 4 and 2, and then I could play one of the.
No, and if you take the Lakers, giving up. You can't do it either way. Even if you did the spread, whichever way you did it, Lakers would win by less than 4. So,
yeah. In any case, that's all for me tonight. Is San Antonio off to college hoops? So you only had one football play. There's not a deep roster of of college basketball games, but Sean's going to make up for his lack of NBA stuff. Now I can feel it.
I'm going to give you, so I'll go Purdue, giving them 13 to Rutgers. Purdue's the number one team in the nation. Rutgers is not all that great. They've actually been worse than what they were supposed to be so far this year. I think Purdue routes them here. And this is going back to the road thing again.
I'm not doing it. I don't give a beep. I am not taking another road team in NCAA basketball for the rest of this beeping year.
Rutgers has a tough time scoring sometimes. So
I don't care if they're at home. Every home team in college basketball wins. Mark it down. Like if they were going to chisel 11th commandment in the tablet, it would have been every home team in college basketball wins, especially when you bet against them.
Hey, I had Marquette.
Like a little asterisk there.
I got it away with it with Marquette yesterday. They did beat Kansas State by 1 point, luckily. Mm-hmm. The other one I'm going to go with the Iowa State game. I think that's too many points. I'm going to take Iowa State plus 5.5.
Well, you can get 5.5, but 5.5 is minus 116, or you can take 5.
I'll take 5
for minus 110, or you could take 4.5 for minus 104.
I'll do plus 5 minus 110.
You'll do plus 5 minus 110, and on the other side, Purdue at minus 13. I'd get you minus 13 for minus 111, Sean, or minus 13.5 for minus 110.
We'll just do minus 13 for 111
then. Why not do the half a point?
For minus 110?
Yeah, for minus 110 or minus 111.
Might as well just do minus 111 and do 13. That way, if it.
Yeah, but what if it comes in at 13 and then you just turn a winner into a loser?
That's true.
All right, but anyway, for me in college hoops, I'm going to go with one game, Sean. Grand Canyon, your favorite bleeping team.
Are you taking them? I looked at this.
They're on the road. Have you learned nothing, Sean? I have virtue. I stick to my.
Yeah. Since when?
For about 6 seconds. That's about how long it lasted yesterday. I got some jokes in there with the 6-second thing, but let's move on to that game. I'm going to take Arizona State, the home team, minus 3.5, Sean, at minus 105. Grand Canyon, yeah, they're statistically they look like the better team, Sean. But look at who they've played. Close games against everybody. Weak teams. Look at who Arizona State has played. Close games for the most part, except for that 29-point outing. What the hell was that?
You're just betting on a team that scored 28 points or 29 points in a game.
Yeah, that was like 2 games ago. That's so old news, Sean. Welcome. Come on, get into 2021. But Arizona State has played a much tougher schedule than the folks at Grand Canyon have. And the model says take Arizona State minus 3.5. By golly, they're a home team. I'm going to stick to my principles, and I'm going to take Arizona State minus 3.5 to smoke Grand Canyon, whatever the Grand Canyon are. What's their mascot, Sean? Any idea? Is it like the Grand Canyon? What would you call it? Paid for, the diploma factory?
I have no idea. I will say another game that's kind of similar to that one tonight is Colgate at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's the underdog there. I almost took Pittsburgh, but I'm not passed because Pittsburgh's played some bad basketball so far this year.
Yeah, the model said to take
Colgate.
Yeah, so that's why I was looking at that one too. I was eyeballing that one like this, Sean. And then I said, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I would almost take Pittsburgh plus 3.5. But like I said, I've been against Pittsburgh, and they've been bad on some games this year, even at home. So that's why
I think actually one of the college basketball games I won was against Pittsburgh. So you should be all over them, Sean. They're due to come back.
Well, no, I think we had Minnesota together, and Minnesota won by a point, and I think we were giving up a couple points.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, like normal.
Yeah, it's happened sometimes. All right, tonight Sean and I will be back for 4. I got that fur Chicago thing going, and I'm so aware of it, and I want to get rid of it. It's not fur, Richard. It's 4. Fur is like an illegal thing for women to wear or men to wear anymore, unless, of course, you have a certain kind of job where you smack people like that. But in any case, you don't get that, Sean? You know what that's called? Google it. A backhand. The urban dictionary definition of a backhand, and you'll know what it is. But anyway, Sean and I will be back for horse racing tonight with the voice of Fairgrounds Racetrack, John Dooley. John Dooley. We're going to talk a little bit about the Louisiana Championship Day. The race is, I think, 11, 12, and 13. I don't remember.
10,
Terry
10
had me
to
all
12.
messed up today.
10 to 12.
10 to 12. Okay, from 10 to 12. Like you should have your hands on the steering wheel. Not really. It's 10 to 2, close. But anyway, we'll be talking about those 3 races along with his experience as a track caller. Should be a really good show. I'm going to be on with the Triple Clowns in a little while as well. That'll be up live tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. We'll be doing the Oak Lawn late pick 4. So I am the hardest working man in the gambling industry. I am James Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 4 YouTube shows in a day.
I'm ubiquitous. I made that word up too, right? Ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you spell that one?
Well, you take YouTube and ubiquitous and you combine them together. I can't spell ubiquitous on my own, so I'm kind of screwed. Thank you for putting me on the spot. Let me Google that one. I probably could spell it Ubiquiuitus. Maybe I think that would probably be close. Yeah. I know if I put it in spell check, I'd be off by 1 letter or something.
All I know is it should be a great show. John Doley, he'll have plenty to say. He seems like a fun guy. And then the races were hard and difficult and will be fun to handicap.
Yeah, it will be indeed. In our show today, I got in my pick 4. I started off with a $50 horse, Sean.
No,
not bad.
No.
I got to make it through now in the hot dog because I got killed in the bigger one. But in any case, I hope I make it through. All right, Sean and I will be back tomorrow night. Is Friday night. I am always confused on the time that we're going to do our NFL show, but I think I finally. But see, it's week 14. I think I finally got it figured out. We're going to start at 9:30 my time.
There you go.
Right there. 10:30 Eastern, and we're going to go through every NFL game, every single line, every single total. Tell you how we're going to go. And, so far, the one thing I've really been getting right so far this year, knock on wood, John Gruden. I better be careful with any kind of John Gruden statements or I might get booted. But
you won't be on YouTube 4 times today.
Yeah. Well, we've been good at we've been good at football, NFL. So hopefully we'll be good in week 14 as well. Only a few weeks to go. So I think I'm just going to tone it down to 1 bet a week. So that way I'm guaranteed to end up with a winning record this year.
There you go. And you say we being nice, but it's dedefinitely you. I'm going to have to.
Man. It's a team.
Maybe I'll look at some different angles. Maybe I'll add some player props and stuff like that.
Or maybe you'll just maybe the one bandwagon you'll finally jump on will be mine.
No. We'll see if I'm sure I'll have more plays than you week in and week out.
I'm gonna really pare it back. Like I said, I want to end the year with a winning record, So all right, Sean, we'll be back in, like I said, 10:30 tomorrow Eastern to talk a lot about the NFL. It's always a fun show. And then again, horse racing today. If you're going to do any horse racing this weekend, it'll be a great show with John Dooley. Make sure you check that out. 9:30 p.m. on Horse Racing Radar TV. That's the URL over at YouTube. So check that out. Until then, folks, may all your tickets be winners and stuff your pockets full of what, Sean?
Cash.
Yes, indeed. Have a great Thursday night, everybody. Go Deontay. Hey, let's see. Justin Jefferson and Deontay Johnson. Go Jefferson and Johnson. Have a great night.